joining us. We begin with a power struggle spilling across West Africa. An assassination plot targeting Burkina Faso's leader, Ibrahim Traoré, is now unraveling beyond its borders, with a former president accused of being the mastermind of the attack, has been arrested and extradited from Togo. That man is Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, a former lieutenant colonel who briefly ruled Burkina Faso after a military coup in 2022. Reports say Damiba was detained last week in Lomé.
West Africa is once again at the center of political tension as a major security scandal unfolds in Burkina Faso. What began as an internal security matter has now crossed borders, turning into a regional diplomatic crisis. The Burkinabe authorities are alleging that a former military leader, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, was at the center of a plot to remove Captain Ibrahim Traoré from power. Damiba, who ruled Burkina Faso for only 8 months after taking power in a 2022 coup, was reportedly arrested in Togo last week. According to multiple sources, he was questioned in Lomé before being escorted to an airport and transferred back to Burkina Faso. At the time of this report, the Burkinabe government has not issued a full official statement confirming his arrival, but several regional outlets insist that he has already been handed over. Damiba had been living in exile in Togo after being overthrown by Traoré in 2022. Burkinabe intelligence now claims that while in exile, he continued coordinating political and military activities aimed at destabilizing the country. Authorities say the alleged operation was scheduled for January 3, 2026. The plan, according to officials, was to assassinate Captain Ibrahim Traoré, neutralize key military leaders, and sabotage a strategic drone base that plays a major role in counter-terrorism operations. During a press briefing, a Burkinabe spokesperson stated that the plan was organized from outside the country and was intercepted just in time. Officials further revealed that a senior Air Force officer, Captain Coulibaly Prosper, admitted to being involved in the scheme. They say he confessed to receiving approximately $15,000 and taking direct instructions from Damiba via encrypted messaging. Investigators claim he was tasked with disabling the Sepani drone base, a critical asset in Burkina Faso's fight against armed groups.
On January 3, 2026, a plan was in place to destabilize the country. This was to be carried out through a series of assassinations, beginning with the neutralization of Comrade Captain Ibrahim Traoré. We have named only the main actor. He is former Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. His key mission was to design and plan the actions, to seek and mobilize funds, and to recruit civilians and military personnel. A large portion of the funding comes from Ivory Coast, whose most recent operation amounts to $125,000.
The Burkinabe government has also accused Côte d'Ivoire of being a financial backer of the alleged plot, claiming that at least $125,000 originated from Abidjan. Ivory Coast has categorically denied these accusations, rejecting any involvement in Burkina Faso's internal affairs. This is not the first time Burkina Faso has accused its neighbor of hosting destabilization networks. Similar allegations were made in 2024 when Burkinabe officials claimed that former military officers were operating from Ivorian territory. Captain Traoré himself has previously accused both Ivory Coast and Benin of allowing French military influence to undermine Sahel governments. Since coming to power, Traoré has dramatically reshaped Burkina Faso's foreign policy. He expelled French troops, strengthened ties with Russia, and formed the alliance of Sahel states with Mali and Niger. Domestically, he remains popular among many Burkinabe citizens who support his hardline approach against terrorism. However, critics argue that ongoing military rule has restricted press freedom and civil liberties. Despite this, Burkina Faso insists that its security services successfully prevented a third coup attempt in just 4 years. Some analysts estimate that Traoré may have survived more than 18 assassination attempts since taking power, a sign of how volatile the political environment remains. For now, the government says the threat has been neutralized and investigations are continuing. But in a country marked by repeated instability, many observers believe that the danger is far from over. What happens in Ouagadougou does not stay in Ouagadougou. It shapes the future of the entire Sahel. The Burkinabe government has also accused Côte d'Ivoire of being a financial backer of the alleged plot, claiming that at least $125,000 originated from. For now, Burkina Faso says the threat has been neutralized and investigations are ongoing. But in a nation that has already experienced multiple power shifts in just a few years, the shadow of instability still looms large. What happens in Ouagadougou does not stay in Ouagadougou. It sends shockwaves across the entire Sahel and shapes the future of West Africa. Yet, despite the tensions, this moment should remind us of something deeper. Africa does not need more conflict. It needs more dialogue, more cooperation, and more unity. We must reject violence, reject division, and choose peace. Leaders must prioritize the safety of their people, and nations must work together rather than against each other. Real strength is not found in coups or confrontations. It is found in stability, justice, and collective progress. So to everyone watching, I ask you to engage with this story thoughtfully and responsibly. Share your perspective with respect. Let's elevate the conversation, not inflame it. If this report helped you understand what is really happening in the Sahel, please like this video so more people can see it. Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Voice of Africa for in-depth, fact-based coverage of the continent. May peace, wisdom, and unity guide Africa forward. For now, Burkina Faso says the threat has been neutralized and investigations are ongoing. But in a nation that has already experienced multiple power shifts in just a few years, the shadow of instability still looms large. What happens in Ouagadougou does not stay in Ouagadougou. It sends shockwaves across the entire Sahel and shapes the future of West Africa. Yet, despite the tensions, this moment should remind us of something deeper. Africa does not need more conflict. It needs more dialogue, more cooperation, and more unity. We must reject violence, reject division, and choose peace. Leaders must prioritize the safety of their people, and